website. So you want to always ask them, how did you find me?
Well, that's key, because if you're spending money or your time in getting part of these networks, it's good to know which ones are working and which ones aren't working for you.
Right, exactly.
That's great. Great. All right, so are we ready to move on to our third bullet?
Yeah.
All right, Erica?
Okay, so tips and ideas for getting started in the REO network. So how would you suggest that we get started in, receiving assets from these managers?
Right. I get this question a lot. We get a lot of people from that call us in our office asking, well, how do I get started? Because it's flattering to know that they've contacted a bank or an asset manager and they've told them, well, we get our people from REO Network. So there's different ways that other brokers and agents have told me how they've gotten started. There really isn't one certain formula of how to get started in REOs. You just want to make sure you're getting your name out as much as possible. One of the most common ways that I've heard brokers and agents getting started listing REOs is doing evaluations and doing great BPOs, property inspections. I know that some people aren't a fan of doing the BPOs, but I think that's a great way to get your name out there to lenders, to decision makers. Your name is on that report, and it's a great way to know your market. It does seem like a lot of the brokers and agents that list REOs, they did BPOs, and a lot of them before they got started listing REOs. So I would recommend doing that as kind of a first step, is doing BPOs for different companies. Number two, I would say that people have told me they went on the internet and did searches for REO asset management companies or REO full-service outsourcers. You can find a lot of these sites right on the internet. Many of the lenders do outsource their listings to different asset management companies. It does take some time and research to find out, B of A, I know, has a bunch of them, so find out who does those, and there's all kinds of different companies out there. Also, I would search real estate forums, message boards, blogs to read about different REO and BPO companies.
That's really great. The internet is a great resource just for finding applications that are available to, real estate agents looking for, asset management.
Right.
And, just getting back to the BPOs, once you do get an asset, you do have to do the BPO.
Right.
So, that's great experience for
right.
when you actually do get the assets from the companies.
Right. I agree. Definitely. I'd also want to mention the REO conferences. I know there's a lot of conferences out there, but I do think it's a great way to network with other REO brokers and agents. It's a great way to find out what's going on in the industry, what asset management companies are looking for, and even if you just talk to other REO brokers and agents there, they're really good about sharing information about what's going on with them. And it is kind of hard to go to these conferences sometimes by yourself,
right.
but you really have to make an effort to try to chat with people, because you never know who you're going to talk to. I mean, I'm always hearing about stories of people saying, I went up and talked to somebody, and it was an asset manager from such and such company, and we just really hit it off. And this person was standing all by themselves.
Wow, okay.
So I think that the conferences are a great way to network.
So speaking of the conferences, there are so many that you can choose from, and some of them have big fees to get in, some are smaller fees, but what do you think are the ones that are worthwhile to give you the most bang for your buck?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because we went to a lot of them this year, and they were all really good. REO Mac is one that we have been going to for the longest. It's a nonprofit organization and has a good combination of asset managers and REO departments, and we've been going to that one for years and years. So that one's very good. And then 5-Star was good, too. I like 5-Star because it's right in the heart of Dallas, and there's a lot of asset management companies there. So they do seem to attract a lot of different companies there, and the last one they did some Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae interviews, so they just had some great opportunities there. But then we also went to the REO Expo, which was a new one, and that was a great conference, too, and they were also doing it in Dallas. So, and that's going to be coming up, I believe, in June. So I thought that one was good. NAREP and ARIA, they also did some great a great conference in Las Vegas. That one's a little bit more affordable,
Okay.
but it was also good. So that's a hard question. I think I would recommend just going to, a few of them that are near you. These are kind of spread out. Like NAREP was in Las Vegas. REO does one in Palm Springs, and then they also do one in Florida. 5 Stars in Dallas. REO Expos in Dallas. Whatever's closest to you, they're all gonna give you such great information.
Yeah, that's true. I attended the 5-Star conference last year, and just being there and being around with other people, you do get motivation. You get great education. You can get your certifications and your education there as well, which you touched upon in our first bullet. So, even if, some people think, well, if I don't get to talk to an asset manager, it's not worth it. There's still so much more that you get from it,
right,
just by attending these conferences.
Right. I would definitely pick the brains of other brokers and agents.
Right. Now, you mentioned you can sometimes run into these asset managers, and if you're there standing by yourself and you happen to, start a conversation with somebody, what do you think should be something that you would say to an asset manager? Should you, try to spill out your bio that you've memorized, or hand them a billion business cards? What do you think is best?
That's tough. I would try to just chat with them one-on-one. There are some organizations that say that don't give your business card unless you're asked for it. I still give my business card. I think that's what they're for. I don't think a business card is that intrusive. Maybe a whole packet about yourself might be a little bit more intrusive, but I think it's totally, I think it's totally fine to give a business card. It's the relationship, and I know that's hard to build if you have just a few minutes there, but I would try to chat with them about other things than, can you give me a listing? And hopefully it will lead to that conversation. So, yeah.
So just have a conversation, give them a business card. Be nice.
Be nice. I know I can go through so much just by being nice.
Don't take out your iPad and start showing them your PowerPoint about all your experience. That's a no-no. That's on the don'ts of getting into the REO business.
Right.
Okay, so let's see, BPOs, searching the Internet, attending REO conferences. Any other ways any tips or ideas to get into REOs?
I do have one more. I would suggest even going to your local lenders and local credit unions. Find out how they handle their REOs. You may even offer them to do a BPO. And I know it's hard to do things for free now, but you may have to do a BPO for free just so they could see your evaluations. Plus, I'm hearing so much about the commercial market and how these local lenders hold a lot of these commercial mortgages. I think that's a great opportunity to expand in and just try to build some relationships with those local lenders. They do need people, and they do need your help. So I would recommend expanding in those areas too.
That's great, because you don't always have to try to start big and get the big, huge banks. You can start local and just start with people who are in your own neighborhood, your own business community.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Great. Okay, so let's see. That is our fourth tip for getting ideas, and I'll go over them one more time just in case you're writing these down. Number one, do BPOs and get the experience out there. You never know where they'll lead to. Search the Internet for asset management companies and sign up on websites. Look at forums, message boards, blogs. Attend REO conferences, get your education, your certification, and just talk and communicate with people. Pick, the pros' minds and find out what they did to get started. And go to local lenders and credit unions, because sometimes your way in might just be down the street.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I think we're going to get into our last bullet point here, which is about the REO network, and just how to get started with that and how it can benefit the companies for our real estate agents out there.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to kind of chat about REO Network. I hope that all these ideas I gave, they're good for any of your REO marketing. But I just wanted to mention a little bit about REO Network. We were the first online directory in the industry. It was started, believe it or not, because there wasn't any type of way for asset managers and REO departments to find experienced REO brokers and agents. So the site was started over 10 years ago, and as a result, we've really been the leader in REO directories. Our database is over 16,000 REO brokers, agents, and vendors. We've got property preservation companies, title companies, attorneys on there too. And on a daily basis, we're adding, removing, updating profiles, making sure they're as accurate as possible. And the coverage is so great on REO Network. I mean, we have over 94% of the deliverable zip codes in the United States, which cover 99% of the population. So, and this is great for asset managers because when they're doing a search on REO Network, they can usually find an REO broker or agent in almost any part of the United States, and that's super helpful. Also, there's a mapping feature on there, so then asset managers, when they do a search, they can see that our premium members, they're mapped so they can see how far away they are from whatever zip code their property is at, which a lot of the lenders, they want brokers and agents that are 10 miles or less, and I'm even hearing lenders wanting 5 miles or less for the brokers and agents. Have you heard that too?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, in case there's a problem, if you can't get to it fast enough,
right.
That's not going to be useful to them as somebody who is relying on you to do those things.
Exactly. Yeah. They want someone close. They want, and that's something that we hear often at conferences too, is the asset managers, they want the best and the local brokers and agents, and that's what they can find on REO Network. Our site's super easy for asset managers to use, and we actively promote the site constantly at REO conferences, like I mentioned, like the REO Max, the 5-star, NRBA. We also go to short sale conferences and bankers conferences. Which is nice is if you can't make it as a broker and agent, if you can't make it to a conference, we're actively promoting REO Network for them to use our site to find you. So, and I talk to people that have received calls from all kinds of companies, major servicers, asset management companies, credit unions, even recently HUD contractors, investors, those local and regional banks. So our site gets about an average of 60,000 profiles looked at every month, so it's actively being used. And it's completely free for brokers and agents to join REO Network.
Really?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
I do want to.
Because
yeah.
It's free. What do you mean free?
Yeah. Well, we do have. There is an area on there where some of our members want to have a priority spot on there. So we do. If you do a search on there, you'll notice that some of the members do say premium partners, and they have paid a fee to be at the top there.
Okay.
But it is free to join, and that's optional. But the premium members are the ones that are mapped too. But what we look for, it's very easy to apply. You just go to reonetwork.com.
Okay.
We do look for some experience listing REOs, and we do look to see if you've been licensed at least 3 years, and we want you to be nice.
And smile.
And smile.
Well,
And
it sounds very easy to join and get involved. Now, if if any realtor or agent listening on this call wanted to join, is it just as simple as filling out a form and you're in the network, or are there some other things that go into it?
They would have to fill out the application. We do review the application and verify some information, and then once it's approved, they'll get an email that it's been approved and their name is added to the REO Network. They just click on Apply on the REO Network website, and once they click on Apply, they fill out the broker and agent application.
Okay. Now, are there any qualifications or requirements you have to have in order to be approved, or can just any real estate agent?
We do screen everybody for experience listing REO properties and that they have to be licensed at least 3 years. So we do screen everybody, and that's one reason why asset managers like to use our site too, because they know that we've screened everybody. That application will ask too for one reference of a company that they've listed an REO for, either an asset manager or the lender directly.
Okay. So at this time, I am going to have the operator let the lines open for any questions. We'll get people ready for questions, and we'll still go back and ask you a couple more questions.
Okay.
But operator, can you let the lines open for questions and get people ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question at this time, please press the star